Welcome back to Noona's Noonchi, where I do a deep dive into some of your favorite K-dramas from a mental health perspective. I want to talk about, again, Reply 1988. That drama has so much good stuff. I love the character Tong Young. You know, the goofy character with the glasses, the nerd, but actually, Tuksun labels him the neighborhood counselor. I'll talk about that later. But what I love is this really powerful scene between Mom and Tong Young in episode 15. Pardon me if I say his name wrong. Again, seen as a neighborhood counselor, the one that has some wise moments, says some interesting things to help his friends, but you see him floundering a lot throughout the episodes because his parents both work, and you tend to feel sorry for him because he's neglected. He doesn't have a closeness to his parents that everybody else has because they have moms at home. They have stay-at-home moms where he does not. He has a working mom, a mom, in fact, who has a pretty, I think, very important job, so she's not around as much. Now, throughout these episodes in the K-drama, you're seeing him completely vie for his parents' attention, specifically his mom, which is why really it's endearing, you know, that mother-son relationship. Episode 15 is where it all comes to a head. He goes out on a motorcycle, and you know as the viewer that, again, he's almost looking for that attention, almost looking to get in trouble, or almost looking to get hurt. In fact, previous episodes, he had run away, and they had to get him back. Actually, it was sad because he ran away and his parents really didn't notice. So you feel sorry for him. You feel that heartstring tugging at you. You're like, Tong Young, we know you're looking for your parents' attention. So he gets into a motorcycle accident, and you see him at the police station, right? And he's not hurt because the police tells his mom and dad who come in, the dad furious, the mom concerned, calm, right? I'm gonna say the typical presence of a Korean parent reacting. You're like that imminent, like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble at home, that kind of thing. And he's like this. It's really cute. He's sitting like this. You really feel sorry for him again. You see him pretty confident. He's the one with these golden nuggets of wisdom that he gives to his friends, but he himself doesn't know how to help himself, right? We can all relate to that. You're the therapist, we're therapists, but we also struggle as well, right? So even as a neighborhood counselor, he's struggling. And he's sitting there, and the policeman's telling the mom, luckily he didn't die because he wasn't wearing a helmet. So we're gonna have to file this report and all this up because it was a motorcycle accident. And you see the mom, okay? And you see Tong Young like this, okay? Just bracing the mom next to him. And she reaches out because, yes, the dad's mad. That's probably the general reaction. She chooses not to get mad. And she reaches out literally like this. And you see Tong Young like this. There's a couple scenes like that. Some of the kids, back then, yeah, Korea probably just, parents just slap you like this, right? Part of the culture. But he flinches, bracing himself like this. And the mom just strokes his head. And, all of that, I want to say that emotion, it brings him back to being a little boy is what I see right then and there. I see that maybe because I relate as a mom, but even then I relate to Tong Young. I flinched too, going, oh, what's the mom going to do? I really think the dad could have hit him, but the mom's like, you're safe, right? And he just starts crying. And that's how the scene ends. And when you see him start crying, it's like a relief, actually. I finally got my mom's attention. I didn't want to do it this way, but I did. You didn't scold me. I just want to be loved. Kids just want to be loved. I want to bring up a couple things here to relate to what's going on. And yes, I always bring up family relationships. Kids do dumb stuff, especially teenagers. Sorry, but I have them. I was one. You want to be on your own. You're in that identity crisis of like, who am I? Let me discover my identity. I don't want to be part of my parents. I want to do my own thing. The whole peer, relationships are going on. You're in high school. You want to look good, be cool. It's still going on. That's what's happening. And so you decide to do some reckless things because you think it's cool and you want to prove your independence and you can make these decisions. And you see Tong Young doing that, recklessly going on a motorcycle when his friends were like, don't do that. And he does. And he just starts like bawling like a baby. Like, I'm still a little boy at heart. I need the parents. That's why we need our parents. I have heard many times where teenagers like, yeah, I don't want to deal with my parents. I don't need my parents. But at the end of the day, you do. Which is why I'm a family therapist, meaning not why I do the job, but why I'm just very passionate about repairing those relationships, helping kids Parents specifically unlearn a lot of things from the culture, and the unlearning there is just more like scolding, only paying attention to the kids when something's wrong, right? Focusing on the problem. That is why I'm passionate about being solution focused. In the next scene, she makes him his favorite food, because that's the one thing that she really makes homemade. Myeokguk, seaweed soup, which is generally what you have on your birthday. And she made it for him knowing it's his favorite. So he's happy and giddy until the dad leaves for work, and then she realizes, oh, I gotta go leave for work. And then you see him, downtrodden, like, oh, I don't want to eat alone. He really needed his mom by his side at that moment. So she sees his face. And I really like that. She sees it, understands it, takes a second, has a busy job, but decides, I'll stay with you. I mean, she still needs to go to work, but I'll stay with you until you finished eating. And he gets giddy again, starts eating, but as he's eating, he's like, this is what I love. How do you connect with your kids, parents? How are you connecting with them? Are you a student of your student? That's what I'm asking you to be. Do you know what your kids are interested in? Do you know what they're up to? You're probably telling them what not to be up to, right? Don't do this, don't do that. You're doing this, you got to do this. But are you actually looking at their hobbies and their talents, what really excites them, what they're involved with, who are their friends? I mean, very important. Don't just be involved with their friends because you just want to be in control and don't like their friends and you just not to like their friends. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, what are you doing to support your kids so that they can connect with you? If you want to be involved and engaged in your kid's life, then it's important to connect with them and be a student of your student. So that moment, he just starts chatting away. We know that he's pretty outgoing and how he is with his friends, showing that confidence and saying things. We know that as viewers. But the mom apparently didn't really. She's like, and he's the youngest son, by the way. She actually sees him chatting away, and he's telling her the funny things about Toksun and making fun of Bora, Toksun's older sister, just basically talking about what's going on with his friends and what's going on in the neighborhood. And even with the neighborhood moms, he tells his mom that. And she's like, wow, I didn't realize that I had such a chatterbox as a son. That's the translation. But I didn't realize that. And just that, smile on her face where he just felt comfortable, happy to just literally, word vomit in a fun way, just tell his mom everything. And at that one, minute, he just told her all this stuff, neighborhood gossip, stuff like that, thinking it's funny and all, and just, isn't that great? And she at that moment connected. I want to say this, and this is what I've told a lot of parents of younger kids. You only need 30 minutes quality time is what the kids need. That's what research shows. 30 minutes? That's like nothing. It does seem like a long time when you're super busy and you're working remote and kids are underfoot. I understand. But 30 minutes every day to get a lifetime of connection with your kids. By the way, they're not going to listen to you when they're not connected to you. So my whole point is, parents, if you want your kids to listen, then connect. I'll give you an example of what I've recommended. Video games are pretty big these days. Parents of teens, even young adults, get frustrated when they see their kids playing video games. And I know as Asian American parents, they tend to get a little more frustrated because culturally they're wasting their time playing video games. Oh my gosh, it's a little bit out of the norm. They want to see their kids always doing stuff, always studying, SAT, Hagwon, which is, after school tutorials, Kumon, all that stuff. But then seeing them watch video games, you're like, really? I am also the same. I struggle the same way. However, let me tell you something. If you want your kids to do something, maybe join them a little bit. Connect with them by saying, hey, so that game Fortnite you're playing, or Clash of Clans, or, what is that? Okay, what's going on? Why do you like it so much? What's wrong with asking that? Do you even ask your kids that? Like, why do they like the video games? Yeah, they're addicting. Okay, I'm going to give you that. That's for later. But just, why are they playing it? Who are they playing with? Ask questions, engaging them in what your kids are interested in doing. Then, as they connect with you, they're like, oh, mom and dad are showing interest in what I like to do for once. Probably what they're thinking. Okay, you know what? They did ask me to make my bed. They also asked me to take out the trash. Then they asked me to do 1 hour SAT. I'm ready to do that now. Believe it or not, that's what happens. I've seen it, okay? Not just in my own family, just the families I work with. So again, parents, be student of your student, to get your student to do what you would like them to do, to connect. It's all about connection, engagement. You want healthy boundaries. And we can talk more about that in another episode. But I want you to understand, in that scene where Tongyong just splurted out all this fun stuff because he felt so connected with his mom, basically eager to share with her. And she needed to hear that as well, as she realized, wow, I'm learning something about my son. It's almost like, I didn't know you were this chatty. That's sad, but literally we're only seeing really 5 minutes or 10 minutes of her watching him eat. That's it. You really don't need quantity time. You need quality time. You know that. You've heard it. Parents, you've heard that. Kids, you know that. That's all you want. That one conversation of like, my parents now finally understand what's so cool about Fortnite. Just giving examples. To connect with your kids, meet them out where they're at, right? Parents, be student of your student. That's the main message of today. How Tongyong connected with his mom, got that love, and guess what happened? This is the way I want to end. The next scene, he tells his friends, listen guys, my mom works. She's not like your mom. Your mom's all stay at home. She does all this, right? He showed his closeness, and they were all like, you hate your mom. He's like, no, I don't. I completely understand her. She's busy. She's not like your mom. What I'm trying to get at, okay? You're not going to always see your kids agree with you. They're not going to like you much, but when you connect with them, it shifts things. Tongyong showed that with his friends in that next scene where he completely understood his mother, came to terms with her being a working mom. I want to say probably the first time in the drama. He understood it. He understood his mom was different than the other moms and busy and was probably proud of her. But in that moment is when he expressed it with his friends openly. Why? Because he had connected with his mom the day prior, or whenever that was, eating myeokguk together because she connected with him. So that's what I mean. Do you want to see that with your kids? You're going to see that, parents, when you connect with your kids. They're much more happy about who you are as their mom or dad, happy to talk about you. Meanwhile, you don't know what they're saying behind your back when they're upset, right? I want you to use that example, episode 15, where Tongyong connects with his mom and then tells his friends the next day how happy he is about his relationship or his mom and what she does. That's a huge, huge example of how we need to connect with kids. Parents, kids, connect. Be a student of your student.